Friday, July 22nd, and welcome to From the South. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has approved $22 million for the operations of the Kimberly-Clark Corporation. The government had seized the US company close to 2 weeks ago in an effort to improve efficiency and transparency of production and distribution processes to increase the supply of basic goods to Venezuelans. The factory is believed to be able to produce 20% of the national demand for numerous personal, feminine and baby care products. Following unsuccessful talks this week between Venezuela's government and the opposition, the Vatican has indicated that it will send a representative to join efforts for reconciliatory dialogue. The Vatican's involvement was a recommendation by the opposition coalition. Venezuelans are hoping that these talks could lead to restoration of the economy. Despite the alarming increase in femicides in Peru, studies by the country's ombudsman note that there is impunity in more than half of the cases.
The violent aggression against Arlet Contreras was registered in a video, while Lady Guillen had to undergo years of treatment to erase the scars left after a beating by her partner. Even though in both cases there is significant evidence of the crimes, the judges have not sent the perpetrators to jail.
For me, the last 4.5 years have been terrible. I have not been able to recuperate entirely because I have relived the events at each hearing. I had to plan my defense and create strategies for them to believe me.
The release of the men for those cases of violence against women has caused an immediate public outcry, and a protest is being organized for August 13th. According to research by the Ombudsman, in half of the cases of femicide, the offenders were condemned to smaller sentences than the minimum 50 years indicated by the law.
The behavior of the judicial system is sending a social message of impunity in some way, and in another way, it promotes a culture of tolerance for violence against women.
The situation has worsened every year. So far, in 2016, there have been 54 femicides, while 118 women have survived an attempted murder by their partners. Rael Mora, TeleSur, Lima.
Colombia's National Consulting Center says that 74% of people questioned in a recent poll would vote in favor of the peace deal between the country's government and the FARC group. The Constitutional Court of Colombia has given the government 4 months to finalize the peace deal and call for a plebiscite. The court also ruled that a threshold of 13% of the electorate was sufficient for the deal to be approved in the event of a victory of the yes side. After several days of constant pressure, the board of directors of the Honduras National University has decided to drop the charges that criminalized 75 students involved in a protest action over the last 2 months. The university has agreed to create a negotiation table to hear the students' demands.
This moment is a historic moment, as the students have taken a step forward, and this will continue.
Oscar Guerrero is the Honduran student behind the character known as Julie, an impression of the president of the country's main university, Julieta Castellanos. His character has become iconic in the struggle against the privatization of the education in Honduras. The students are celebrating an important victory after the board of directors announced last Wednesday night that they will drop the criminal charges against 75 students that have been part of protests over the last 2 months.
Sometimes a satirical way of using art and acting is the best way to reach people that don't know some facts, so this way we can explain that even better.
The university board of directors militarized the university and captured the students that were occupying buildings in protest. The students were then charged and the academic period canceled. Due to the students' pressure and the accompaniment of other sectors, the heads of the university had to take a step back.
What will happen now is that after the board of directors attend to the tribunals to rescind the fiscal requirements and the capture orders, they will sit down at the negotiation table with our representation and their representation. We will try to build a methodology for the application of the changes they want, to try and get the agreement of the cancellation of these reforms.
The students were against the new academic reforms since day one of the current academic period that began in April. They said that the university is increasing charges that will be collected by private banks, and that this is the first step toward privatization. The board of directors has stated that if the dialogue table is installed this weekend, then on Monday, July 25th, the academic period will be reopened. Gerardo Torres, telesur, Honduras.
In Germany, a Munich police spokesperson said there was a shooting rampage at Olympia Einkaufszentrum shopping mall that left at least 3 dead and multiple injured. Police are warning people to stay indoors and avoid public areas. The main train station was also evacuated. Following his acceptance of the Republican Party's nomination, Donald Trump said his nomination is now in the history books. During his speech on Thursday at the Republican National Convention, the former reality TV star promised to restore security, clamp down on immigration, and put America first. Prominent rights activist and lawyer Orhan Kemal Kenizg was taken under custody at the Ataturk airport late on Thursday. Kenizg's wife said that the incident may have been related to his previous legal defense work and journalism for pro-Gulen Zaman newspaper. Detention is a sign that a newly imposed state of emergency would be used to press on with a purge. An appeals court has ruled that the head of the International Monetary Fund, Christine Lagarde, will stand trial over a state payout to French tycoon Bernard Tapie. Lagarde is charged with negligence over the award to Tapie of $445 million in 2008 when she was France's economy minister. Spain's acting foreign minister, José Manuel García Margallo, met with Costa Rican UN candidate for Secretary General Cristina Figueres. García Margallo said his country would support candidates from Latin America, but would not do so exclusively. Several organizations in Bangladesh joined forces to stage a rally in central Dhaka to demonstrate against a series of militant attacks. The group gathered in front of a mosque and then marched through the streets of the capital. The protesters are demanding the government take immediate actions against the militants. An Indian woman who survived a gang rape at the age of 17 was raped again, allegedly by men awaiting trial for the first attack. Her family says she lives in fear and feels both she and the family will never be safe again. Relatives say they believe the latest attack was revenge for her refusal to drop her complaint against the men. Brazilian authorities have transferred 10 people arrested on Thursday for discussing terrorist acts to a maximum security prison. The people are suspected of belonging to a poorly organized group supporting the Islamic State group. Brazil will more likely be a target, particularly because of the participation in the Rio Games by countries fighting the Islamic State group. More on these and other stories on our website telesurtv.net/English.